Ever wondered what it's like to juggle the relentless workload, sleep deprivation, and the unexpected highs and lows of Cambridge life? This week was an emotional rollercoaster with a bit of everything, from racing against deadlines to spending time with friends, and even finding the nerve to ask out my crush. Join me as I take you through the ups and downs of one unforgettable week. As soon as I woke up on Monday, I got working because obviously I just had the entire weekend off, which was very necessary for relaxation purposes. However, this meant that I only had 2 hours to get my presentation ready. I will explain more about this in just a second.
Good morning, everyone. It's time for a supervision, and I woke up. Oh my goodness. I just bumped into Claire when I was walking around college being a vlogger. Basically, I've got my supervision, and I've got to give a presentation in it. Well, you know what? It's gonna be fine. My kryptonite, though, is like, when I get home from a night out, why do I stay up for hours? It's like, just go to bed. Because then I'm just very sleep deprived the next day. My presentation went really well. I'm so happy. I went last, but yeah, it was really good. And now I'm up to see Oliver, get lunch, and then do some homework. But yeah, basically, because I didn't wake up as early as I wanted to today, I didn't get to properly write a script for my presentation, so it was a bit of a freestyle. But yeah, I mean, at the end, I was kind of popping off, y'all. Like, I was talking about essentially the representation of trans women in the media, and I kind of popped off. Like, I was really happy, and at the end, like, I hadn't written the script at all for the last couple slides, and I was just like analyzing like these videos I'd used, and I ended with some powerful statement. I was like, damn, you kind of ate. So yeah, I'm really happy, and now I'm going to see Oliver for lunch.
So this is me having lunch with Oliver, except for he wouldn't sit in the right position that I wanted to get a cute shot for my vlog. So at some point I was like, you know what, girl? You can sit wherever you want. I'm just, can't believe I'm admitting this, but I said, you can sit wherever you want. I'm just gonna pretend you're in front of me and then make it look really cute for the vlog. But I thought I'd just explain myself before he exposes me on his channel. Beyond that, the lunch date was actually really cute. And I feel like I got my own back a bit because I managed to sneak a clip of Oliver recording his vlog. So now we can see the behind the scenes of the Oliver Cooney YouTube channel.
But I remember something stunning little munch now having a lunch date with Andrew, who is pretending.
The tiredness just like hit me like a wave in that class, and then I was like, oh, I went to bed so late last night, so I'm gonna get a coffee, and then I've got an online doctor's appointment because I broke my fingers, so I need to do some therapy for that. And yeah, my Spanish class was really good. It was about slam poetry, so it was quite rogue, but really enjoyed it. Double espresso. I'm walking back from Sidge in the pitch black because apparently it gets really dark at like 5 p.m. now, and I got a bunch of admin done, messaged my supervisor about coursework, I organized my study days, like I organized my plan for tomorrow, and like I've mentioned before, I think there's great power in working smart and not hard. So for example, tomorrow there's a lecture that I could have gone to for an hour, but it's on a topic I'm not going to write on in the exam, so I just thought I'm not going to go and I'm going to prioritize other work that I have to do. And also I was planning out all the work that I need to get done in the coming days, sorting out my deadlines, getting myself organized. And sometimes I do feel really guilty when I don't have I don't have a super productive day, but it's like, I don't know, I just think that's stupid, because if I have an appointment about my health, it's more important that I do that, and it's also important that I get my exam arrangements sorted out. So I need to kind of get out of that mindset of thinking that if I'm not always studying for every single waking minute, then it's not productive. Because actually, for example, I could have got up earlier this morning, but then I would have slept less, and then the work I would have done wouldn't have actually properly cemented in my brain.
Quick rundown of my evening. So I got dinner with Christina and then went off to cheer. Unfortunately, I was just sitting reading for some of it because I was still injured. I then rushed back home and went straight to bed.
Good morning, it is Tuesday and I have got stuff to do. It's like 10:30, I'm going to meet for coffee and then we're gonna walk to City together and start working. I'm pretty happy because I've got over my sleep debt. So yeah, ready to get stuff done today.
Tu es qui? Bonjour à tous et à toutes, je suis Sam, je suis étudiant ici à l'université de Cambridge.
De Cambridge!
De Cambridge.
Switch, anglais.
Anglais. And what I really love about the English library is the hot twins.
Shut up! And we're both of them. Hola tothom, jo sóc l'Andrew. Tu qui ets? Qui ets?
Em dic Tiffany.
Uau, és la meva amiga. És molt bonica. M'agrada molt.
And everybody, this is now the reason why you clicked on this vlog. And I'm going to explain my little crush story time while you're watching this video of me studying. So basically, there was this guy I kind of fancied who I kept seeing around in the library. And I just kind of was catching a gay vibe. So I was like, this is perfect. Anyway, so I'd seen this guy around quite a few times. And I was going to speak to him, but I just fumbled it. Anyway, later on that day when I was back in the library, I was with Tiffany and I was like, Tiffany, I just see this guy that I fancy. Like, do I go speak to him? And she was like, yes, obviously. And I was like, okay, what do I say? Anyway, so he had a broken arm. And so I went up to him. I was like, oh my goodness, how'd you break your arm? Just trying to make conversation. He explained me the story. We started getting chatting. And then what I did, I'm quite proud that I had the courage to do this. So I asked, can I sign your cast? And he was like, yeah, of course. So then I signed his cast and I said, Andrew. And then I left my number beneath. This took so much courage. And then he texted me that evening. So I was very proud of myself. Anyway, enjoy this clip of me when I just did it. I was looking very smug. After this romancing, it was straight back to work and then off to the formal hall for a dinner with my friends and family. My sister and her husband came up for this one, so I was very excited.
Okay, so we're on our way to formal and it's been a bit more, it's been a bit more stressful than normal because we got my key locked inside my room, so I had to run from my house to college, try and get the key with very limited time, not have a, not have my suit. Then Els didn't have like shoes. I didn't have my gown. I didn't have my card so I can get to formal. And we had like 15 minutes to sort this all out. Then I went to get my lockout key and they didn't have a lockout key. And then they were worried they have to call on a locksmith to get me back in my house. Basically a lot of stress, but we're now nearly at hall. Emily, do the vlog.
Andrew, you need
I am doing a mock interview this afternoon, so I had to prepare all the documents for that, and I've got my mum's birthday present nearly organised, so that's good. And I've also practiced most of my languages, so that's cool. I'm just coming out of my European film seminar right now. Seminar is not a supervision or a lecture, it's kind of in between. I don't think that all subjects have it. Anyway, basically it was just like a group of 8 of us and a lecturer, and we were just talking through the reading, and it was really interesting. But I'm not gonna lie, before I chose this paper I thought it was gonna be kind of one of my easier papers, but it's probably the hardest one just because it's so theory heavy. Like, I'm a bit behind on reading just because at Cambridge there's always so much to get done. And so I'm only really properly familiar with 2 of the theorists, and we were kind of talking about 5 of the theorists, and it talks about early cinema and it gets very, very technical. So for example, we talk about Soviet montage theory, we talk about how the theory relates to the history of that place. Beyond that, I am kind of just physically tired. Like, I've been sleeping well. I slept 9 hours yesterday and the night before. But yeah, I've just got to power through these last 2 weeks, and then it's holiday. And a side note, I feel like that's why the Cambridge terms are only 8 weeks, because beyond that, it's just too grueling to carry on, and you need a break. And I think the university recognises that everyone at Cambridge wants to do their best, is a high achiever, and so if they had another week of term, the work would just expand to me all the time. But enough talking about work. I'm off to the zoology department to meet Els for lunch, and I've never been there before, so I'm excited to see what it's like.
I then had an hour-long meeting with my disability advisor because I have ADHD, which means that I'm entitled to 2 hours of support per week, 1 hour of mentoring, and 1 hour with my disability advisor. However, I didn't find the sessions super helpful, so I decided to not have more of them in the coming weeks. However, I do find the mentoring sessions really helpful, so I've carried on having those every single week, and I will for the rest of my degree. Shout out to Carly if you're watching this, you're the best.
Basically called French through audiovisual media and Spanish through audiovisual media. It's examined at the end of the year through a video essay, so I should be fine with that one, to be honest. So it's just a 7-minute video. So now I'm off to a 101 Supo, which I'm a bit nervous for. I'm excited though, because it's French language, which is one of my strong points. But yeah, I'm a bit nervous still. Basically, it went really well. Yeah, it felt like a massive brain workout because it was very, very difficult. I don't even know some of the vocab in English, I'm not gonna lie. So we watched this video about philosophy, and we were discussing the idea of how can we fully approach other cultures without any prejudice. The views of different philosophers about understanding the essence of the human condition. And it was all in French, so sometimes I didn't know the answer, but I was like, I didn't know what to say, but I was like, I promise I can speak French, I just don't know what to say. But he complimented me and he was like, oh yeah, you've got a very good level of French, like how long have you been learning French? And then he was like, you express yourself just like a French person. I was like, oh, thank you. Well, thanks to Christina. Thanks, girl. But yeah, no, I was just really happy. It's a really good supervision, and he's even offered to help me with do another conversation class, so that's gonna be really helpful because in second year there's only 1 hour a week of contact in the language. So long story short, my one-on-one supervision went really well, really got on well with the supervisor. It was very tough, but that's good. I felt like I learned a lot, and I'm really excited for the rest of the year with our teacher. I feel like it's gonna go really well. Okay, so I'm back home now and I'm going to do a mock interview for a student who is applying to Oxford to do languages. So I felt very fancy because I wrote the instructions saying, you have 15 minutes preparation for this part of the interview and we'll do 10 minutes on this and 10 minutes on this. And yeah, but I think it's gonna go well, and I hope it'll be helpful for them. Okay, the interview went really well. I've got all my notes. Okay, I can't show them to you, that private. But yeah, the interview went really well. It was funny being the interviewer rather than the interviewee. I was sharing all of my pearls of wisdom, so I hope it was helpful.
I then ate my dinner whilst working, which is normally a faux pas, but desperate times call for desperate measures. I also know that it looked gross in that last clip, but I promise you it was so tasty. It was this chickpea curry. Yeah, please don't judge how gross it looked.
I just slept for an hour and a half. So my body clock might be a bit messed up, but it's fine because I've got this planned out. Because if I'm going out tonight, I'm not going to sleep a lot tonight. So I already got 1 REM cycle in. So all I need to do now is just get ready to go out, get my David Beckham costume ready, context of that coming on in a second, and get to the Prees by 9 p.m. I don't think I'm gonna have a very good costume.
In next week's video, find out what a night out is like at Cambridge University. Is it as awful as everyone says it is? Are the clubs good? What do we do for prees? And what is a swap? Tune in next week to find out.